Okay, good morning everyone. Today we'll be discussing about Java methods. Fine. See, you have also done functions. You know about functions. You have done it in C programming. In Java, we call functions as methods. Okay, so we use these both terms interchangeably, so you do not get confused. Fine. Um, So in Java, we call functions as methods. And as you know, methods of functions are not only related to, programming languages. These are there, from maths itself. We have been doing maths. You have done it in, during your school days. So you have been using functions, just as given in this example. So the same thing. What does a function do? It performs a task, okay? And it provides one, result. So similarly, even in any programming language, whether it is C++, in Java, Python, anything. So here, what actually a function do in computer programming, it is nothing but a block of statements which will, perform some task, okay? It will, we have to design a logic. Based on that, it will perform a task and it will, give us a result, okay? It will give us an output. So that is all about methods. Then just like in C, even in Java, as already we have discussed, we have two types of methods. One is standard library methods and the other is user defined methods. So standard library methods are already the predefined methods, okay, which belongs to the Java class library, JCL. Okay, so all these methods are actually kept in a jar file, okay, .jar file with the JVM and JRE. Fine. So all these standard library functions are the predefined functions that are readily available to the user. You can directly use it in your programs. We have already used it. Yes, we have used print already. You have already used print method. So these are all, library methods which are already available for the user and can be easily used. Here I have mentioned another method, which is the square root method. Okay, so it is from the class math. Okay, the square root, this method is a mathematical method from the class math. Fine. So if you are to calculate the square root of any number, then you can use it in your program, provided you have imported the imported the package in your program. Fine. So square root belongs to the math class, and this is one program where the working of the square root method has been shown. Fine. So here you are to simply calculate the square root of 4. So here you see it has been directly called, okay, math dot square root of 4. So this is the class name and this is the method. Fine. Class dot method in bracket 4, so you can directly use it. Okay, so this is how we use library functions in our programs. Okay, next, today we will be discussing user defined methods. So we have discussed a lot of programs, but there we have mainly used the main function only and the println function, which is the what you say, or the scanner class methods you have used. Okay, so those are also built-in functions, but we have not used user defined functions till now. So today this class, in this class, we'll mainly focus on using user defined functions in our program. Fine. So here, um, so this is one syntax. You can say this is one example of a user defined function, how you declare a user defined function in your program and how you define it. Okay, declaring and defining are different. Declaring means it simply signifies the signature of your function. Just don't get confused with the two words, function declaration and function definition. Function declaration is the function name, fine, the return type followed by the function name, okay, and the list of arguments that are that you will be passing, that you will be accepting. Fine. So that is the signature of the function, that is called the function declaration. And when you define, okay, when you write statements, when you try to define the block, the body of that function, that is called function definition. Okay, so here we have a function definition overall, because we have a declaration and at the same time we have the block of statements. So here this is a function definition. Okay, now see, just like we use the same keywords in while using main function, the same has been used here. Okay, okay, public Okay, so here basically the method, in this example, the method name or the function name is my method. Okay, so you know that every function, computes a value or perform a task. Yes, and it might return something or it might not return something. So depending on that, it should have a return type. So every function has got a return type. Okay, so here we have the return type as void. That means it will not return anything. Fine, it does not return any value. So we have given here void. Static, why? Because while writing the program, we will not create objects. All the user defined functions that we will be writing in our program, that we will be defining in our program, will be directly called by the main function. Okay, all the functions, just think about C, just as you did in C. Forget about the concept of class here. Just as in C, any number of user defined functions you include in your program, what do? You either call it from the main function or you call it from some other function. Here also we will do that. Okay, so since we can access the user defined functions from the main function or from some other function, therefore we will not create objects here. Also, we have not learned how to create objects and access class members using objects. That we will do in the next unit. So here our focus is mainly to use user defined functions in our program and to call every function from the main function, or if need arises we can also call the functions from some other function, okay, which will be again called by the main function. So ultimately the control will be in the hands of the main function. Main function will be executing all these functions. Okay, that is why we will not create objects here. We will not use the concept of creation of objects. Fine. So static is that's the reason why even in here you will be using static. Fine, because we will call this function without creating object. Main will call this method. That is why we have added the word static, just as in case of main function. Main is called by JVM, that is why it is static. And this method, okay, in this example will be called by the main or by some other function. That is why this is static. That means we will not create objects to access this method, to call this method. Fine. And public means it is public to all. It is the access specifier, which will it determines if this method can be accessed from anywhere. Okay, anywhere from inside the class. Fine. Now okay, so we have discussed all this. I think it's clear. It's very simple. There's nothing much to understand. Okay. Okay, so basically this is the syntax. Okay, that was one example, and this is the syntax where if you don't write public by default, it will it will be you can also have other specifiers, like it can be private, it can be public, it can be protected, it can be default. So it's up to you. How whom you would like the function to be accessed by or not. Okay, so that is up to the user. So that is accordingly we will be using the access specifiers here. Then we have the static, we have the return type. You can have any other non-void return types like int, character, float, double, boolean, any return type you can have, provided your function is returning a value. Only if you have a return statement inside your function which is returning a value back to the calling function, then you will have a non-void method return type. Else you will have void return type if it is not returning anything, if it is only performing a task. Fine. And this is the name of the method, and you have the list of parameters or arguments. Okay, I've explained all this. Now see, this is one you can call it a syntax. Okay, this is one way of designing a program with user defined functions. Here you have a class main. Fine, the name of the class is main. Here you see you have two functions. Okay, if you add one user defined function in your program, it will somewhat look like this. You need to have the main function because program execution will begin from main and end at main. Yes, that is obvious. So you have to have the main function here, and then you have the user defined function here. Okay, this is your function. Okay, so as you can see, program execution will begin from main. Fine. Then there might be some other statements in your main function. Then you have the function call. Okay, you have a function calling statement. So here the control will be passed directly. It will directly be transferred to the function that is being called. Fine. So what is the function called? My function. So you should have to, okay, you should have this function in your program. Okay, so this is the my function function in your program. Okay, this is your function and you're calling this function. So immediately the transfer will be control will be transferred to this function. Now this function will start executing. Okay, now as you can see, this has been made private. That means it cannot be accessed from from anywhere. Okay, it's private. Fine. Next we have static void my function. This is the function name, and then we have the body. So it will perform whatever, it will perform the task, okay, as defined inside. And then once the function execution ends, again the control will go back to the main function. Fine, because it was the main function who called this program, this method. And again, once the function terminates, the control will go back to the main function. Okay, and then it will start executing the next lines in the main function. So this is how actually you will be writing your programs. Okay, next, see, we have a program here. Okay, so this is your main method. Okay, and then this is your own method. My method is your user defined method. So here you see, what is this my method doing? It is simply displaying this particular message, printing from inside my method. Okay, so this method will simply print printing from inside my method. And what is there in the main method? Let's see. Okay, so first it will display this, about to encounter a method. Next you have a method call. Okay, so this is a call to the my method function. Okay, so when this will be executed, immediately the control gets transferred to this. Okay, then what happens is this particular statement will be executed. You will get to see this on the screen. And once execution it terminates, the function terminates, the control will go back to the main function and it will start executing the next statement of the function call. The next statement is method was executed successfully. Okay, so accordingly, if you see the output will look something like this. First, about to encounter a method has been displayed. Next is the method call. So whatever is there will be displayed, like printing from inside my method. Then once the control goes back to the main method, you have another statement that will get displayed, which is method was executed successfully. Okay, this is very simple. Okay, anybody has any doubt till here? Anyone?
No, ma'am.
Okay, the rest? Anyone, any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Next, we look at another example here. Okay, you see, let me just take it to the next page. Okay, see, we have another program where, okay, see, this is a program. We have not used this type of program. Okay, we have in the previous classes we have been discussing programs consisting of a single class only. What if you have two classes in your program? It is possible. Okay, you might have any number of classes in one program. Fine. So this is one such example where you might need to design two classes for your program. Okay, one will be the class containing the main method, okay, from which the program execution will begin. And the other class, it will be, it will be serving some other purpose. Maybe it will contain your for example, in this case it is containing the user defined method. Fine, this class contains only the user defined method. In the previous example, what did we see? The same class contained the main function also and the my method function also, which was user defined. Here what I have done is, here the main method, the main class consists of only the main method, and then we have taken another class which is output. Okay, the output class which will define the my method, user defined method. Fine, so we have two separate classes for each of these two functions. Fine. So again, it is nothing to worry about. It is very simple. You see, as we know, program execution will begin from main. So of course, it will start from here. First you see, to be able, but there's one thing. Okay, now since we know that here the main method will be calling this function, and this function does not belong to the same class, it belongs to some other class. Yes, now so that the main method can call this method which belongs to some other class, okay, we need to create an object of this class inside the main method. I repeat what I said. Since in this example, in the previous example, what did we see? We had only one class, that is the main class, inside which we defined the main function and the user defined function. Yes, let's go back and see once. Here you see, we had only one class, yes, inside which we had two functions. And as I said, the main function will be calling this method directly. So this is the function call, okay. Control will get transferred directly to here, everything inside will get executed, and transfer will get back to the main function. Fine. So it was very simple here, but here what we have done is we have considered two separate classes for each of these two methods. Main method belongs to the main class, my method belongs to the output class. But however, since as I already said, we will not be as I said, I want the main function to call this method. Okay, since we have only one user defined function, so it is obvious that this main method, this my method, has to be called by the main method. Fine, there is no other method in your program. So in that case, to be able, the main function to be able to call this method, okay, what do we have to do is we have to create an object inside the main function, okay, of this particular class. Okay, so that is what has been done here. One object is created, obj of class output of this class. One object is created, okay, you understand the syntax, we have used it multiple times. Next, once the object is created of this particular class, using this object, we can directly access the my method function. Fine. But there is again one more condition. You can access the object directly provided your modifier is public. Okay, if it is private, it cannot be accessible from outside the class, because this is one class, this is another class. If your modifier, if your access specifier is not, if it is public, it means it can be accessed from anywhere inside the program. Okay, from any class. It is, it will be available to all. But if you make it private, it will simply mean that, it cannot be accessed from outside the class. And since main is a function which belongs to some other class, so this particular methods needs to be accessed from outside the class. Okay, because main is a function which is from some outer class. So this outer, class function needs to access this method. For that, this public specifier has, this access specifier has to be public, so that it will be open to all. Okay, and then it can be directly called from some other class method, provided we create an object of that class inside that method. That is why we have first created an object of class output here, and using that object I will be calling this my method function. Fine. So how will the execution take place? You see, first we are creating the object of this class. Okay, then the next statement is this. So about to encounter a method. Okay, this will get displayed. Next statement is the, calling the my method function. Okay, so calling this method. So using this object of the output class, we will be accessing the my method function. Fine. Then once it gets called, you come here, everything inside gets executed, and you go back to the main function. Okay, then in the main function again, what do we have? One last statement that will be displayed, method was executed successfully. So if you look at the output will be same. Okay, the output will be the same. First this will get displayed, then this and this. But how we have designed our program is different. In the previous, we used a single class inside which we had two functions, main and the user defined. where the main function could directly call the user defined function because they are all members of the same class. Here, each of these are members of different classes. So to be able to call the method of some other class, we have to create an object of this class inside the main function. Okay, so accordingly we have created the object here, and using that object we will be now accessing the method of that class. Okay, so that is all about this program. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I want to ask something.
Yes, yes. You know, it is very much like the other functions that you use in C. Okay, so here see we have an example, square main. Okay, so here what you are to do is you are to calculate the square of a number. Fine. So here we have taken a variable result. Okay, and then you have a function square. Okay, so this is your function, square function. Okay, Kritika, as you can see, again I have used this square function inside the same class. Okay, so here, and we have used the keyword static, meaning main can directly access it without having to create objects. Fine. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
And also remember one thing, that inside a class, okay, if you have functions, many functions inside the same class, okay, then one function can directly call the other function, without having to create the object for that particular class. Okay, it can directly call. Fine. So since we are directly calling it from the main function without having to create object, that is why we are using static here. Now coming back to this is the result. Okay, so here the result will this is the function calling statement. So here what have I written? To look at the right side expression, so this is a function call to this user defined function. Okay, so this is public static int square. Int because we will be returning an integer value. Fine. And what are we doing here? We are returning 10 into 10, so it will return 100. Okay, so this particular function has a return type int, which means that this square function will return an integer value. Okay, now this value will be returned back to the main function, and therefore we have to store it somewhere. For that we are assigning that value to the result variable. Okay, now the result will contain 100. Okay, now simply you have to display the result accordingly. Fine, it is very simple. So here it's the syntax. So as I explained, this will the output for this will be 100. It will return back, okay, to the function calling statement, and then assigned to the result variable. Okay, do we have any other?
Ma'am.
Wow.
Ma'am, if we take the